Hey, Under Pope. Really sorry I dropped the ball with ditch diggers this week. While I texted Ursula about 2 o'clock saying I was working so hard on the archives of our podcast, I did not actually plan to work on our podcast. She's like, oh yeah, since I hadn't heard from you, I'm in a coffee shop writing. How dare she be writing while I'm working on podcasts and not writing. What the heck? I don't have a timer up. I can go live whenever I want. Hey! Ian's here, Underpope's here. Hello, good to see you guys. Sorry again about missing the ditch diggers this week. Hey, Poe. So excited to see all the journals and fountain pens. I mean, diverse array of gift ideas. Actually, they're all books, but, you know, I do have journals here and pens I could hold up to the camera, no problem. Maybe I will. But I don't have an affiliate code to Jet Pens, and I don't mean to be completely mercenary, but no, that's too mercenary. Okay, I'll figure something out. Yeah, I just got out of a. I don't even know how much of this is secret, but Patreon's got an ambassador program that they meet with and talk to about their upcoming things, and I just got out of that, and so I've got all these ideas of ways to improve the Patreon or do winter events. Like giveaways. But, yeah, I'm going to get started. One of my big to-dos is to fix my stream. I don't have a countdown anymore. I don't have any music. I'm not even doing, like, game streams, which I enjoyed. I really did. So, yeah, we can get started. Why not? I'm in a weird mood today. I don't know why. I need another light. There. One thing I want to start doing is putting up the video as a Patreon incentive. I know my friend Grant Bachoco does that. He does his podcast and then he puts the behind the scenes recording up. So since I do all sorts of since I do this recording anyway, and I like to steal other people's ideas, I'll probably be doing that in the new year. Ian, actually, there's not a lot of complaining. It's all them talking about what's coming up and stuff. Sorry, there's plenty of places you can complain. I think there's a Discord, and Discord's one of the good places, I think. I probably wasn't even supposed to mention the existence. Might need to cut this out of the video. Uh-oh. Anyway, we'll get started. Why not? I'm smart. I don't have anything bubbly this week. All right. This is I Should Be Writing Season 21, Episode 23. I've already forgotten. I am cursed to never get my episodes right. Never. Ever. 21 years of doing this. In fact, my 21st anniversary is about 3 weeks. It's like early December. Anyway, let me start over. I should be writing season 21, episode 23. Hi there, welcome to I Should Be Writing. This is a podcast for wannabe fiction writers or fiction writers who just want a little bit of support, or creative people who want support, or people who like the sound of my voice. I don't know, I'm just glad you're here. My name is Mer Lafferty, I'm a writer. I've been podcasting this show for 20 years, and I've been a professional writer of fiction since about 2013. So I like to talk about stuff that slows people down, or books, or interviews, or whatever comes to mind. And today we're going to talk about my gift guide advice. Because I get sent a lot of books, and I can't have every single author on my podcast. It's not mathematically possible. Or if it is mathematically possible, I don't want to do it because that's a lot. So what I try to do is I try to tell people what the books are. I've got a whole bunch of NetGalley ebooks as well. I'm not quite sure how I can do that visually for the live stream, but I may be listing those again. That's why this is number one of the gift guide. But all of these books you can find on bookshop.org, which will get me a little bit of an affiliate commission at no cost to you and not give money to billionaires who are jerks. And am I on the wrong mic? Fuck. I changed overlays. That's what it is. Thank you so much. Okay, let me fix this. Device default lies. You are full of lies. Is that any better? Fix. Okay, good. Thank you so much for telling me that. I was going through my archives, the Ditch Digger archives, and I DNGAF about a lot, except for the actual content. The show notes are laughable. The titles, sometimes it's just Ditch Diggers number 59. I don't know what I was thinking. But also there are some that the audio is completely unforgivable, considering how long I've been doing this. So, yeah, I'm trying to have a little bit better standards, especially as I go through my archives and just cringe and cringe. But the good news is we're doing, because there's so fewer episodes, I'm going through the Ditch Diggers archives right now and the NaNoWriMo archives. I failed utterly in getting my NaNoWriMo daily podcast out, so what I'm doing is I'm releasing each year's collection of daily podcasts. So yesterday, number 213. The podcast for all the NaNoWriMo podcasts from 2013 are available, all zipped up, available on Patreon, including for free followers, free members. So let's try this for the third time, shall we? Okay. I Should Be Writing, Season 21, Episode 23. Hi there. Welcome to I Should Be Writing. This is a podcast for wannabe fiction writers, creative types, and people who just like the sound of my voice, I guess. My name is Mer Lafferty, and I've been doing this podcast for 20 years, and I've been a professional writer for about 11 years. So I try to give good advice, at least based on my experience, or if I can't, I bring other people in. Today is a little bit special because it is our holiday gift guide. I get a lot of mail from publicists and authors themselves wanting to be on the show, and they often send me hard copies of their books. So the ones that don't get on the show, I'm like, well, I've got all these books lying around. I should at least say something nice about the book in case you guys are interested. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up the book, tell you a little bit about it, read the first sentence. We all know that first sentences are hard, and hopefully you'll learn something, or you'll get an idea for something to buy for someone you love, or yourself. The reason why I'm doing this so early is because I'm not podcasting next week. And then it's like Christmas shopping, Black Friday sale times. So, as for what I've been up to, I've been writing on the book that no one cares about, having a lot of fun with it. I'm throwing more and more undead in it as I want. Just, why not? I'm going to make this incredibly undead book as cozy as can be. That's my goal. And it is cozy. They just baked soul bread, which is not the same bread as Day of the Dead bread. This is bread made for ghosts that they can eat. So we'll get started. First off, I'm not on social media as much anymore, and I discovered that my dear friend Ursula, aka T. Kingfisher, pretty much updates her life on social media. And so half the time my husband will know more what's going on with her than I will, because even though we're in a couple of chat rooms together, she tells the internet and not like us. And I'm saying this because her book came out last week. New book from Ursula Vernon, aka T. Kingfisher. This is called Snake Eater. If you know Ursula, you know she's like wild animal facts and birds. So, of course, she's going to do one about a killer roadrunner. Now, I know any of you who like Ursula's stuff, you probably already bought it or already plan to. But I will give you the first sentence, which is quintessential T. Kingfisher. Selena picked her new home for no better reason than the dog laid down on the porch. Yep. So I know you're all going to go buy this. So, Snake Eater by T. Kingfisher. This is my advanced reader's copy. Someone in chat already has the ebook of Snake Eater. If you are new to the podcast, we live stream this Thursdays, Eastern Time, 3 p.m. So you can come and hang out in the chat and watch the whole episode. Now, I don't usually talk to people who write outside of science fiction and fantasy genre. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It's pretty much at my own choosing, but some people still send me books sometimes. So, we have The Macabre from Kosako Jackson. Yeah, Kosako Jackson. This is let's see. Turn over the jacket to reveal a version of the cover you can color in. Oh, look, it came with crafts. Look, can you see the crafts? Barely. I have never seen a horror book come with crafts. Or anything, really, but still. Now, I would like to know in the chat your opinions of whether the first sentence of the book is in the prologue or chapter 1. I don't know why we'd skip over the prologue, but so many people have strong opinions about prologues. I wonder if that bleeds into first sentence opinions. Regardless, as you guys argue, I'm going to read the first sentence of the prologue. The Guardian did it better. All right, then. So this is, I'll tell you a little bit about it, because I knew what Snake Eater was about, because I know Ursula, but this is Kosako Jackson's adult fantasy debut, a standalone novel blending art history, time, and globe-hopping adventure, dark horror, and fantasy about 10 cursed paintings, and the lengths people will go to collect them, destroy them, or be destroyed. Man, I love a good collection MacGuffin story. Have we established whether there's a name for that? It's the you got to go around and get all the things. I guess you could call it a Pokemon story, but that implies like childish things. But, the Fred Saberhagen's Books of Swords, the mini series from like 20 years ago called The Lost Room, which still lives in my head because something unspeakable happened in a little crappy motel room, and then everything in the room became charged with magic. And so the goal was to go around and find all the pieces in the room because, I don't know, magic. Fetch quest, collection quest, I guess so. Yes, but that's the Macabre Kosako Jackson. I think it's out now. This looks like a final copy. Regardless, this is not my first take. I had a mic problem, so I don't think I've said this yet. You will find links to these in the show notes, and it will lead you to a bookshop.org list, and that will get me a small commission at no cost to you, and it will not give money to billionaires that want to change the climate in Venice for their weddings. All right, next we have Wickedly Ever After by R. Lee Fryer. Also on shelves now. For almost 1,000 years, Wicked Witch Hector West and Good Witch Ida North have maintained the balance of good and evil, preserving a magic happily ever after that keeps the realm from falling apart. But even cardinal witches need a hobby. When Ida's latest harmless hex goes too far, Hector retaliates with a curse that immediately backfires, making her choose the wrong princess for the years happily ever after. I love fairy tale retellings, and I'm not good at that. It's like I'm too literal. Like if I took a story and tried to make my own version of it, I would try to see like a one for one. Like, you've got this character, what will that map onto? And I think the people who do it well are much more fluid and organic than that. Like checking off a box. First sentence. On a deserted battlefield, the scent of smoke and death steams in the mist trailing from the nearby fens. Ravens are hard at work on the corpses. I know, I did 2 sentences, but I had to. Anyway, that's Wickedly Ever After. R. Lee Fryer. That was me hitting my desk. All right, I talked to, let's see, the publicist was talking about this, like, right, a magical HBCU for conjurers. If you don't know what that means, it's historically black college university. This is, I believe, book 2. This is the newest one, Bones at the Crossroads. And of course, I didn't write down what book 1 was, but it is, Ladarian Williams is the author, and it is a magical school book, only the characters are black. Not only the characters are black, I mean, I'm sure there's lots different, just... Yes. I was trying to remember see if I can find the... Blood at the Root is the first one. So Blood at the Root, and then this is the second one. People says brings magical living to an HBCU in an unforgettable young adult adventure. People. I mean, if People's gonna review it, you know it's gotta be pretty impressive. Okay. Prologue. A lot of prologues, y'all. I think the people who hate prologues are losing. There's a leak in this old building and my soul has got to move. I like it. So every once in a while, I get this feeling. I don't know if I'm old or I'm just not on social media enough, or just there's too much stuff in the world. But like, I'll hear about this wildly popular thing that I've never heard of before. And apparently a wildly popular thing that I've never heard of before was Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, which started out, I believe, as a webcomic, but is now a novel. So I have the arc for it. And they sent me a couple of other things, like a pen, and I think I got a journal? Not sure. So this starts with a quote I want to add. There are 3 ways to survive the apocalypse. I've forgotten some of them, but for one thing is for certain, if you're reading this, you will survive. From 3 Ways to Survive an Apocalypse. And the first sentence is, my old smartphone seemed to struggle to push up the page as I swiped at the web novel app. I scrolled up and down again and again, trying to refresh. I've read the first chapter of this. It's pretty... It's very lit RPG, exciting. A lot of stuff happens right away. Now this is embarrassing because I can't remember if this is from a publicist or I bought it and then forgot. I do that with books. It's not a reflection of the book. Just letting you know. But I've got The Book of Lost Hours by Haley Gelfuso. Or Gelfuso. Anyway, this is a Library Outside of Time, a story for the ages. Enter the time-space soaring library filled with books containing the memories of those who have passed. Accessed only by specially made watches once handed down from father to son, but now in government hands. Man, you gotta bring the government into it and they mess everything up. Sentence 1. In the city of Nuremberg in 1938, a man told his daughter a bedtime story. Okay, that'll lead you to read the second one. What was the bedtime story? That was The Book of Lost Hours by Haley Gelfuso. This is one I'm really looking forward to reading. This is An Amateur Witch's Guide to Murder by Kay Valentin. I mean, I can't think of anything not to like. It's fantasy with witches. It's murder with murder. It's a purple book. It's very pretty. A wannabe witch tries to break a curse on a clueless client in this laugh-out-loud debut for fans of queer romantic fantasy by T.J. Klune and Tamsin Muir. Wow. That's some impressive comps. I'll give you the first 2 sentences because the first one's very, very short. You a witch? Mateo Borrero pulls an earbud out, muting the furious screeching and synth blasting his ears to see who's leveled this super creative insult at him. He's greeted by the least surprising answer, a douche bro hanging out of a truck, halted at a red light. Douche bro, I like it. That was The Amateur Witch's Guide to Murder by Kay Valentin. Now these are very pretty books. These are very gifty books right now that I'm bringing up. We have the Doomed to Die, An A to Z of Death in Tolkien by Tom Racine. Now this looks like style of Edward Gorey, but it's not Edward Gorey's art. But it is told in the style of the Ghastly Crumb Tinies if you have read that. And if you haven't, you really should. Ghastly Crumb Tinies is about 26 children who die in different ways. And it's A is for Adam, who... I can't remember what Adam... I remember Neville died of ennui. And somebody flew into bits. But anyway, we have A is for Arwen, Broken by Sorrows. So, as you can see, it does look a lot like Edward Gorey, but it is not. That is Doomed to Die, An A to Z of Death in Tolkien by Tom Racine. this looks like, I mean, it's a very nice book. It's definitely a giftable type thing for the Tolkien lover in your life. Or maybe the Ghastly Crumb Tinies lover. And while we're talking about giftable books, we have a collectible here. There's a new release of Murder on the Orient Express by, of course, Agatha Christie. It's shrink wrapped with, oh, wow. So you know how mostly fantasies have been doing the very clever cut edges of designs and stuff? Actually, this one has writing on it, which is, "The murderer is with us on the train now." It's very pretty. So, anyway. Yeah, this is, I'm not going to read the first sentence of Murder on the Orient Express for a couple of reasons. One, I'm pretty sure everybody knows the story. Two, it does not start out fast or exciting. It's not my favorite Christie, and I wonder why it's so often redone. It just starts so slowly. It's like he could have just gotten on the train, but no, he had to meet up with the owner of the train company and take his berth and blah, blah, blah. But it gets better once he's on the train. But this, again, it's a giftable. It's a red hardcover with gold writing, and it's shrink wrapped. That's another reason why I'm not going to read the first chapter or first sentence, because I can't get to it. But Murder on the Orient Express, there's a new one. If there's an Agatha Christie lover in your life, they will probably love this. And Lee in chat has informed me A is for Amy, who fell down the stairs. Exactly. And B is for Basil, assaulted by bears. C is for Clara, who wasted away. D is for Desmond, done in by a sleigh. I remember it all now. Wow. Yeah, my favorite was Titus, who flew into bits, not because of the words, but the drawing is just of a little boy holding a box and looking at it curiously. And that is one of those things of like, I suck at description. But that level of storytelling, of the sentence being in, like, the sentence being after whatever you see in the picture, is just, it's amazing storytelling. Man, I wonder if I could do the whole 26 letters. I don't know. Neville died of ennui. I know that. I remember that. Is that all? Oh, of course not. No, there's two more. This is another, I believe this is a thriller. Yes, a gripping domestic thriller that transforms into a high-stakes caper involving a famed Geneva jewelry boutique. We have Joel Dicker, and the book is Wild Animal. So we got, of course, the fairy tale marriage and two beautiful children for a character. Her idyllic world is going to fall apart when her husband is keeping a dark secret. Of course. I mean, I think these have to be in every thriller. You have to start with a perfect world, and then it falls apart because someone's got a dark secret. And people love it. But they don't talk about thriller readers like they talk about romance readers. It's not fair. So we're going to look at the first sentence here. Underpope wants to read more heist stories. The prologue is on the day of the robbery, and they had timed their entries to the jewelry store to coincide. Not terribly gripping, but it's definitely descriptive, and you know you're getting straight to the jewelry heist. They're not going to mess you around like talking about toast or something. And that is Wild Animal by Joel Dicker. What I'm actually curious about is why I just lost my train of thought. Oh, right. While Wild Animal doesn't seem to map onto the woman with the perfect life or her weirdly obsessive husband or the jewelry heist. So there's a mystery right there. Why is it called Wild Animal? Joel Dicker, I'm probably mispronouncing it because he is from Geneva. So this is translations. And it's out. It came out in August. And I'm going to remind you about a couple of people who have been dearly featured on the show. First, of course, would be Valerie Valdez, aka Leah Amador, Which You Would. This is just a super fun, it's like magic and reality shows and a little bit of spice. Oh, commercial break? Okay. I will pause here. I could just go to a coming up BRB screen. What does a BRB screen look like? Not terribly interesting. And it looks like we're back. Thank you for letting me know. Got a spam text now just asking if I want to sell my house. Yeah, I'm always like, where would I live then? Anyway, trying again. I'm going to be reminding you of a couple of books that we've covered this year, including Which You Would by Valerie Valdez, aka Leah Amador. Leah Amador is the name you would search for if searching for this book, but you can also search for Which You Would and you can find it. Yeah, this one's just fun. It's reality shows and magic and I love the building, the world building of magic that Valerie did. Not a lot of people have done, at least that I've read, the whole components thing. You know, they just you just do the magic, whereas in this world you need the components, and sometimes they're rare, sometimes they're expensive, and that puts a new level of the difficulties of magic. And if you're hanging out on the live stream, Valerie is, the kids are asleep in chat, so. I have so many more to talk about, but I'm going to split them up into a couple of shows, so, because I don't want to overwhelm you. Oh, I didn't do Valerie's first sentence. I'm sorry, Valerie. I'm just like, I've already read this one. I know all about it. I don't need to tell you guys. That doesn't make any sense, but you know. The customer's blue ombre hair The customer's blue ombre hairspell sparked like fireworks as he leaned across the counter, ranting about how I was the worst spellcaster in Miami. I hid my nerves behind my best helpful employee smile. Yeah, start off with making us sympathetic of someone who works retail is a good hook. Like I said, I've got a bunch more, but I'm not going to overwhelm you guys. I'll probably be talking about others as the season goes on. But I'm going to end now for the regular feed and keep going for the live stream and those who support on Patreon. So thank you for listening to the show, and we'll get back to you shortly. don't even know why I said that. It doesn't seem to make sense. Because it would have been made sense if I did it before the ad break. I'm just questioning everything today. Our garage door broke. Like, broke. Like, it was half, part of it was, like, one side was down and the other side was not down. It was about knee height. And we tried very hard to lift it or get it, at least get it even, but we couldn't. And luckily we got someone out today to look at it. And my husband came up to the office and he was like, yeah, he doesn't know what's going on. I'm like, what do you mean? This is his specialty. This is garage doors. He's like, yeah, he doesn't know what happened. I'm like, well, I mean, worst case scenario, we need a new door, right? It's like that would be, like, you can't get confused and just not know what to do. It's like, at the worst, we need a new door. Which we do. We found out. As he was talking to me, we felt this, like, big thump rumble through the house. And we're like, oh, he must have gotten the door down now. So, yeah. 2 years ago, we had our dishwasher die right before Thanksgiving. While the garage door dying right before Thanksgiving doesn't really make the holiday any more difficult the way the dishwasher did, it's still not an expense you really want right before the holidays, you know? But that's the joy of home ownership. From chat, Underpope says, door specialists ought to know where all the magic doors are. They really should. If that's your job, you should know all sorts of door things. Yeah, the guy apparently took the door apart. I was working while this was going on, so we could get our cars out, at least. And we're like, okay, well, we're not going to be able to go, use the garage, but that's okay because we have a front door, we have room in our driveway to park, whatever. And then my husband reminded me, he had to remind me that I have an electric vehicle now and my charging port is inside the garage. Which, is not as bad as you'd think because there's plenty of charging areas around town. I just don't use them because I don't really drive it very far from my house, so I usually just charge it when I get home. But I'm going to learn all about them in the next month or so because apparently that's how long it's going to take. And I don't know why I just told you guys that, but that's been like the big thing happening here today. What else is going on? I had stuff I was going to talk about. Wow, that's good. Didn't take notes. I mentioned this before the podcast, so I'll say it now. I'm going to start including not only the audio of these live streams, but also the video for Patreon levels. I don't think it's going to be that much more work. Yeah, I don't know, Scott. A month to replace a garage door. I didn't hear it. It's possible that there's lots and lots of garage doors emergencies right now. It's possible they have to wait a while to get it in. I don't know. But I do know that it's not, we've been assured it's not going to be fast. So what's on your minds, guys? What's going on in writing? Anybody got questions or wondering? Okay, I know publicists don't watch this. They have a lot of work to do. They're overworked. And from the books they send me, it's clear they don't listen to the podcast. But when you use, I'm not going to go into the rant of why I hate it because I've done it in several podcasts, but specifically for this thing, when you use an AI to, say, write a pitch letter, it has no reason to vary what it writes. Its tone, its rhythm. So when publicist A says, go look at this podcast and tell me the most recent episode and what they talked about, and then tie it into my client, and then publicist B says the same thing, I'm going to get letters that sound like Mad Libs. Not Mad Libs, because that would be funny, but I can spot the format immediately now, because it starts out with your most recent episode with this or this person really rang true with me because XYZ. And I'm like, it's we know it doesn't make art. And we know it does have uses. But if you use it too much and don't check your work or check its work, it's going to start sounding like everything else it puts out. I just got one. Hearing you and Valerie Valdez in the recent episode get real about battling self-doubt and the ongoing push to craft authentic stories was just what I needed. No. And maybe I should put in my actual show that I like talking to science fiction and fantasy writers. And if I don't talk to them, that'll be on a solicitation basis, not send me your Christian allegory that you're promoting. It sucks because it means anyone who earnestly says that stuff now is now suspect. Yeah, I've heard people of color, their kids getting, if they're use big words, people assume that, fun racist thought of, well, the kid can't normally talk that way, so clearly he's using AI. Also, apparently, the M- is getting a lot of use, which that's apparently a flag for people, which sucks for me because I love the M-. M- and semicolon is, how I get through my day. But see, Valerie, I still think that you could, if anybody ever made an effort to get the data and then write something at least a bit heartfelt just because in their own voice, even if they didn't listen to my show, it would be better than this. It's like, I'm not judging what was written. I'm judging the fact that it's the same style and pacing and rhythm as every other one that I've gotten. And it stands out so much from real publicist letters. So glaringly bad. I mean, I've gotten a couple today. Hi, Mur. I'm excited to reach out about Queen of the Night Sky, the breathtaking conclusion in USA Today's best-selling author Amelie Howard's Starkeeper duology. Set to captivate readers on March 17th, the spicy and spellbinding romantasy is perfect for fans of Rebecca Yarros, Sarah J. Maas, and Jennifer L. Armentrout. That's fine. That's great. That's even if she's using a boilerplate for that, it still sounds enough like a human wrote it. Yeah, I've gotten several today. Sorry. Stephen, well, good to see you. You've read Amelie Howard. How is it? Lee also uses the M dash regularly. Hi, Stephen. I've been so far complaining about garage doors and publicists who use AI to pretend like they've listened to my show and then want to pitch their client on it. But yeah, if you guys like cozy streams or cozy game streams or puzzle streams, you need to follow Stephen Joyce. I don't know why I don't have an automatic shout out for you, Stephen. I feel like I've fallen down on the job. Did that work? Yes, haha. Did Frosty Tools just fix itself? How did Frosty Tools fix itself? It's not getting yelled at by the other bots for posting links. That's really weird. Yes, Steven plays a lot of puzzle games. Would you call Unpetrified a puzzle game, Steven? I've watched a little bit of you and Brian playing it, but not a ton. They've worked it out amongst themselves, probably. So I've done my apologies for failing in the NaNoWriMo Daily Show thing. And reminder, I am doing, if you support on Patreon, even if you're just a free supporter, you can get entire downloads of the different seasons that I've done NaNoWriMo podcasts. 2013 is already up. 2014 will go up today. It's a wandering around light puzzler. Yeah, you're this friendly little golem, rock golem, or are you earth golem? Anyway, wandering around a forest, helping forest friends and trying to solve, I guess, the puzzle of what happened. It's implied that I don't think humans are around anymore. But yes, it's very cute. I played Winter Burrow this weekend, and at first I was really charmed by it, and then I got annoyed because there's no map, and I am not good at sense of direction. So it's supposed to be like cozy survival, but when you take away the map and I'm dying constantly, I'm dying of hypothermia on the map. And I have to go out and find my dead body, which is hard to do because I was lost in the first place. Not my dead body, but everything I dropped. It got a little tedious for me. And I know people really like it. And I guess if you have a sense of direction, you might really like it. Cozy survival becomes lost frustration. Exactly. Yeah. Oh, someone was asking if we were going to talk about pens and journals and stuff during this stream, and the answer is no, but I'm on my favorite pen makers mailing list, and I got email today about the pre-order for their new pen, and it's gorgeous. It comes in several gorgeous colors, and it's the style that I like, and it uses words like, we want this to be an everyday pen, so we're using a steel nib, and steel nib is not considered the highest. It's like, oh, you want a gold nib if you're fancy. So it's talking about the steel nib, and it's talking about refreshingly affordable, I believe is the word they used. And I followed the link, and that thing is $500. I have pens that come close to that, but they didn't lie to get there. I just do not see how anyone could think that $500 is refreshingly affordable for a pen. Hey, Shauna, I just saw you finished packing up the craft room. Hope you're having a good day. Yeah, strange definition for affordable. I mean, even if you're like super rich and really like fountain pens, that's not affordable. That's luxury. You got to admit that's like edging into the luxury. It's not like close to the $24,000 pen that I would be afraid to touch. But it's still out of my impulse buy area, well outside. This podcast introduced me to fountain pens in the first place. It has been more dangerous than any advice Evil Mer could give. I'm so sorry. I'm not sorry. They're so pretty, and most folks wouldn't spend 1/5 of that on a pen. Yeah, Stephen. Exactly. Yeah, when I was looking at my other pens from the same manufacturer this morning, and then I started looking for my actually nicer pens, and then I realized I can't find one. And the only saving grace is the fact that it's not one of the ones my husband had given me, because if I lost one of those, I would be gutted. But it's still like, I should find that. Yeah. Well, if you guys don't have any questions for me, I'm probably going to log off soon. If you want to ask me questions or say anything about NaNoWriMo, how that's going, I am just dreadfully sad that I think the death of NaNoWriMo, even though a lot of people are still continuing to press on with the practice, it broke something in my mind. I'm not even thinking about it, which is why I messed up doing the shows. Because, yeah, I don't know. I also spent a lot of time in the beginning of the month working on that epistolary game. So I need to edit that and figure out how I'm going to produce it. It's also Christmas themed, so I'm going to need to do that soon. Everything feels just a little bit off about the month, yeah. It does. It's sad. Steven says, I haven't done nano in over a decade, but it was such a shame to hear where things had gone, and I guess probably did ruin things a little in people's heads about it. Yeah. I mean, even when I was failing it or not doing it, it was still, I mean, because I have a writing podcast, it was still on my mind. Underput, do you really expect me to read that out loud? Lee is in French training at work, and so no brain power for creative things. Yeah, Stephen, it used to be an exciting month knowing that was happening. You know, I need to be like Cypher and just say, to pun in the chat, you have to like give money to a charity or something. I know everyone listening to this after the fact is going to be wondering, because I am the unfun. I am the fun hater in this group. I will read it, but I won't like it. Underpope says, I'm going to write a cowboy story in a series of letters and call it E-Pistol Larry. Or you must be a paid Patreon member to pun. No, because there are a lot of those. There are already a lot of those paid Patreon folks who love to pun. No. I'm not going to set a rule that half of them have already followed. That's just... Yeah, they would see it as a license, exactly. Exactly. Oh boy. Anyway, I pay attention to Patreon. There's going to be some new stuff coming up soon. I'm pretty excited about it. Oh, that's right. I'll tell you guys here. I've mentioned it on the Discord, but as actually, I was chatting with Devo Spice today, and I'm gonna read you what someone emailed him. He said at his latest newsletter, someone writes back, Tom's brain, you have too many projects. Also, Tom's brain, let me think of a project to focus on the other projects. And I'm like, yeah, I've been kind of like, I'm drowning under all this podcast stuff. Oh, I got an idea for a new podcast for Patreon supporters. So yeah, I'm going to be doing an Evil Myrrh themed podcast, Patreon only, and it's called Stet. And hopefully, with the help of the community, I will come up with a different meaning for Stet frequently. I'm not going to say every time, but like, now I've forgotten them. Start trolling editors today. Yeah, that's what one of them was. Start trolling editors today. So happy you went with Stet. I was giggling over all the acronym suggestions. Yes. So yeah, I'm honestly fighting with myself, wondering if I should spend the money to get Devo Spice to write me another theme song. Because I don't have a ton of cash right now, business-wise. But man, I kind of want to. We'll see. So yeah, I'm going to do the end of the podcast and then we'll get off to a raid. But thank you for listening to I Should Be Writing. You can find me at mightymyrrh@gmail.com or myrrhverse.com. You can see the live stream at twitch.tv/mightymyrrh. You can watch it for free, watch the whole thing, don't have to pay anything. If you want to listen to everything from the live stream or watch the live stream later, then you need to go to patreon.com/mightymyrrh and join the Fabulists, where we talk about a lot of writing stuff in the Discord. Also, crafting, food, music. We've got a Darling's Graveyard, where if you have to cut something you really like, you just go put it in there. We've got a lot of fun places to go. It's a really great community. I'm very lucky that they have built themselves. But yeah, Americans, I hope you have a good Thanksgiving. Be safe. And I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. And you should be writing. Real quick, Steven says, how refreshingly affordable are theme songs versus certain pens? I have paid Devo Spice less than this pen before for, I think, the Ditch Digger song. Refreshingly affordable. I don't even know who's on now. Who's streaming? Nobody I follow. Okay. Maybe I'll find a co-working person. No. That'd be interesting if Twitch did that. If they did like a, like say you just want to go into a certain, not theme. What's the word? A game or why can't I think of the freaking word? My brain is just pudding right now. Anyway, I could say, give me a co-working stream and it just throws me in one. But it might not accurately give me like a English-speaking co-working stream or something. Category! Oh my god. Thank you, Lee. All right. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Yes. I'm going to look real quick at the categories. I'm probably just going to quit. We'll see. Well, the first, I tried live channels tag co-working. This person's playing Baldur's Gate. Okay, so I'll just end it here. Again, be safe next week, guys, in America, and the rest of you, I hope you have a great couple of weeks, and I'll see you next time. Ursula and I are doing a Ditch Diggers on Monday. We're guaranteed. We've already talked about it, so that's going to happen. Anyway, take care, y'all. Thanks for coming.